Alright, so just to make sure that we're on the same page, before we move on to our next topic, let's solve this problem that regards the last thing we were covering regarding areas, arcs, areas of arcs, lengths of arcs. So let's see how it goes. So basically we have a full circle and we want to know what is the border of the circle if we take out a hexagon shape which is inscribed in it. So there's a hexagon shape which is touching everywhere it can. It's a regular hexagon. The between quotes radius of this hexagon, so the distance, if we split this hexagon into 6 equal triangles, equilateral triangles, would have this distance to be 1.5. The size of those triangles would be 1.5. So the side of this hexagon is 1.5. And this circle also has radius 1.5. So we should know how to calculate those values, right? Both areas, and then we can just subtract them. So the first one, if we're looking for the circle, so we can just work pi r squared. So pi r squared is pi, r is 1.5 squared. So for now, let's leave it like that. We can always use our calculators later to find those values. So far that's okay. Now what about the hexagon? So the hexagon, we're going to do 6 triangles of equal areas. So if we look at each of those equilateral triangles of 1.5 meters of base, we should remember how to calculate those areas. So remember that we have just dealt with areas of any triangles, right? So since this triangle is an equilateral triangle, I know that all angles are 60 degrees and I know that all sides are 1.5. So the area, I can choose any of the angles, it would be the same, and I would need 2 sides which are adjacent. So the area for one triangle would be a half. Multiply each of the sides, so in this case it would be 1.5 squared, and multiplied by the sine of the angle between them. Alright, so if we work this out, it would be, before we write any digits, anything that would get, let's just keep surds. Alright, so if we just do 1.5 squared divided by 2 and multiply by sine, we would get 9 roots of 3 over 8, right? That's before we divide by 2, so we would get 16. That would be around, using the calculator, that would be around 974. Okay, about 974 meters, squared meters, since that's an area. Now that's one triangle. So if we do that times 6, we would have, so the total area of the hexagon would be 6 times, let's call this A0, A1, 6 times A0, which would be 5.84. Oh, it would round up to 5. Okay, the result would be 5.84567, so we would round it up to 5 squared meters, approximately, right? Always. Now, in this first case here, if we just put the numbers into the calculator, so 1.5 squared times pi, we would have, so solve for the number, we would have that this is 7.07 squared meters. So if we subtract one by the other, we would have the area of garden to be 1.22 squared meters. Okay, so if we subtract this by this one, we're going to get this result.